First, we're just gonna chill and hang out a little bit while I do a YouTube video. Came across a video earlier. I didn't get to watch it at work, but it's called "The Truth About Black Nerds" by Antonio Speaks. So we're gonna check it out, see what's going on, because there's a lot of people reacting to it. So we'll watch it and see what's going on for a little bit, and then we'll get into some gaming as usual. You know how I do. So with that being said, this video is the truth about black nerds. Let's get it.
Black nerds, aka blurs, is the topic of today's video. Now me, I consider myself a nerd, but some may not. So for example, I love video games. I've been playing them since the age of 7. I've always loved sci-fi films, consumed about every DC and Marvel comic. On the flip side, I'm not into anime. But growing up, I was very into films like Teen Titans.
Damn, how you into all of that except anime? That's like the pinnacle of everything. Like anime is the sweet spot for being a nerd, you know what I mean?
Samurai Jack, Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I guess to some it would be debatable. So within the black community, especially growing up in the hood, being a nerd or just even consuming the culture will make you stand out. It goes against
100%. 100%. 100%. Doing anything that is culturally not recognized as normal in the black community will get you either talked about or mentioned by family members, friends, people in the neighborhood, etc. People will say something to you. Literally, it is not normal. So I agree with that.
Against what's stereotypical for black people. This is a flaw within the black community that I do not like. I say this all the time, but as black people, we are not a monolith. And we got to start respecting that within the...
I have this conversation so much, like when I'm at work and I'm listening to different type of music that other people don't listen to. And they're like, oh, what do you listen to? I'm like, y'all do realize that more than hip hop exists, right? Like there's different type of music that you can listen to and enjoy and like besides hip hop.
Community. I will say this though, I feel like in 2025 being a nerd is kind of cool. Let's say versus the 2010s or the 90s. It is most definitely more acceptable now.
I want to talk about how all of a sudden being a nerd is in and we're erasing all of like that awful childhood stuff that happens to so many of us. Because now it's, oh, we weren't bullying y'all because y'all were into anime. We were bullying y'all because y'all stank, or y'all were always doing something weird. A lot.
I semi agree with that. I mean, I could definitely see times changing. I don't know if being a nerd is exactly in. I just think people got tired of dealing with the people who purposely tried not to be nerds. Like the people who tried to be cool end up growing up being, a piece of shit. So I think that's what happened. And then they realized, well, the nerds are the cool people. And then they started trying to show love. In my opinion, I think that's what happened.
A lot of y'all were bullying us just for being into different things. I went to many schools with other smart black kids. I love to read. And I got the pants bullied off of me for liking to read in a smart school. I had my black card revoked so often, I'm pretty sure I'm still in black folk debt. Because I don't think I have one. White girl, whitest black girl I know, Oreo, wanna be white, all of it, all the time.
And I'll tell you, these new age black geeks, they will never understand how it was to be a black geek back in the 2000s and 2010s. Now that was the trenches.
Yeah, that shit. We was in the mud. We was in the mud, bro. We were in the mud out back then. Like, dog, you had to defend yourself. Like me growing up, liking anime and video games and being a skateboarder, all mixed into one. But see, I was cool because I lived in the hood, and I was able to kind of I slid into both lanes because, I was in the hood and I used to hang with some bad kids, but then they knew when I went home, I'm playing PlayStation all night. I'm going to be up searching the internet trying to find free anime, shit like that. Or Saturday mornings, I left my house at 9 a.m. and I skated until 1 a.m. Sunday. So I just got lucky.
like I consider myself a black geek activist because, bro, back in the day, bro, I had to defend my hobby. Like y'all don't understand, the insults were crazy. Like we would be talking about like normal like crap in front of everybody, and then like we would go home on our computer and be having discussions about anime with people online. Like people don't understand. Back then, most of our anime discussions or geek discussions were like on were on the internet. They were not in real life, because if you even spoke about anime, like you were about to get ostracized real quick.
I mean, I just think it's like I said, I seen both sides, man. Like I remember in middle school, we had our own section of the lunchroom. Me, Taylor, Maverick, Tron, Hal, Ben. It was I was the black guy. Sometimes there's another one. Cruz, a couple white guys, Asian guys, and we was just a group of friends. Like we were so us that people actually didn't fuck with us. They wanted to come around because we made shit cool, dog. We used to like stack math books on top of each other and make like a square or rectangle like arena. And we would like, Beyblade battle, collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We would do shit like that. And like, I don't know, we were so cool that like people like, they gravitated towards us because we were ourselves, man.
Now, for me, y'all, I did not have these problems. And that's why I kind of think to myself, was I really a nerd or am I really a nerd? But looking back, I was most definitely a nerd, bruh. This was me in the 10th grade. I mean, I had a 4.0 GPA, was in pretty much all AP classes, dog. I was textbook nerd. The thing about it is, as a black nerd, you really just got to find your group of people. And even just being a...
But I just say about finding your group of people, then I just say, dude, we went through the same thing in high school. It was me, Fat Boy, Doc, Rod, KJ, Lonzo, and like, like KJ played basketball. Lonzo was just like the guy who everybody knew for the snacks and could dance and could sing and shit. And me and Doc love hip hop, and people were cool with us, bro. But like, they knew like we watch anime, we watch the Boondocks, like we like dope shit, we like Dragon Ball, like we like video games. But like I said, we were so us that people didn't like give a shit for it because we were ourselves. People would gravitate towards us, and there would be big crowds around us in the lunchroom when we banging on the table or rapping and battling, and then we'll just go from battling to talking about anime. And then people was like, it made other people who secretly liked anime, they liked sitting there talking with us about it. And I think the one thing about it all is you have to be yourself. If you be yourself, people will come no matter what you're into.
A nerd in general. I hate this talking point because even nerds in the white community are done the same way. Like,
I got bullied for liking anime, and then I got bullied for wearing anime and an Avatar t-shirt, and like that I liked Pokemon, and that I carried a DS, and I was in bands. Like and I had braces, and I had glasses. There was just so many reasons, and I had short hair. There was just so many reasons to get bullied that like getting into Kingdom Hearts was another reason I didn't want to get bullied.
Don't worry, we're gonna make it. We've been looking for clues to find Clay.
In this game, your heroes will die. A lot. With every defeat...
Oh, I'm sorry. The clue board? You mean my clue board?
So all those nerds in high school, like the weird theater kids and the anime people.
Hi, weird theater kid, captain of the speech and debate team, anime fan.
You know who I'm talking about, the people we didn't hang out with.
Thank God for that, by the way.
So they've grown up now, and they're the ones making the laws. They're the Mark Zuckerbergs. They're the Faucis of the world of fucking nerds.
I hate to break it to you, but those effing nerds are not just the Mark Zuckerbergs and Faucis. They're highly successful, influential people because it turns out hitting the books actually was helpful.
100%. Everybody who just didn't do that is, some of them are just dumber than a box of rocks. I mean, it just is what it is. Like, is what it is.
Isn't just a black thing. Maybe the talking points of, you're acting white is that talking point. But as far as you getting bullied or looked down upon, it's pretty much the same way. Kids are mean. Like I stated, you have to find your people. And with me, I had a different group of friends for like pretty much every situation. Like growing up in the hood, those were like the hood friends.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I say that? I got to grow up on both sides. That's the coolest part about it all. I got to grow up around that environment. The whole like being a nerd, and I can just go a few blocks and I'm back in the hood. So like, you get the hood lifestyle. It was so, it's just being dynamic. You get to see both. And that, even to this day, that still affects me. Like the way I carry myself, and I can go certain places. I can go to a convention and talk to people about anime because I watch anime. I can talk about video games. I can go in the hood and talk about hood shit. And it's like, it's not something I do on purpose. Like I'm actively thinking about it subconsciously. It's just something that like, it's a part of you as a person. And I always have this conversation when I talk to people. I always have this conversation when I talk to people about being well versed. I call it well versed, and some people call it being well traveled or well seasoned. You don't want to be a bland person. I hate bland people who are just sitting there like, oh, I'm not into that. I'm just simple. Well, I think the thing about being alive is you get to do multiple things. You don't have to be the same person all the time, right? You can be yourself. You can like multiple shit. Because you grew up in the hood, you don't just have to wear Nikes. Like, there's other clothing brands that other people wear. Go explore, go try that.
Classes, I kind of met my nerd friends. So I had that group of friends, and I had my friends that was back in the hood. And also I played sports. I love sports. So, I had my friends for basketball. The one thing I did deal with though that I hated was me being labeled a game freak. Like I just love playing the game. I remember growing up, bro, like they'll come knock on my door for me to come outside. I'd be like, bro, I'm on a game and I don't feel like coming inside. Like, you a game freak, bro, get out. But I always felt like it was just like with love. Like they was joking, but it was with love. And I stated this in one of my second channel videos. I feel like the black community, our love language is joking. So, maybe sometimes these jokes were hurting your feelings, but it wasn't like meant in that way. This isn't justifying it, but that's my thought. Anyways, with them already having this backlash from the black community, in return,
I think that's true. Because I think I like a lot of dope boys on my block. When we were growing up, me and Peanut block, and Solomon, shout out Peanut and Solomon. Peanut, my brother to this day, it was the exact opposite of me. He was completely hood all the way. But that motherfucker would sit there and play that game with me for hours, dog. But everybody on the block knew us. Like, yeah, they put their little fun at me, but they showed me love, bro. Like, on my block, if I got into something, you know what I'm saying? They gonna stick up for me,
they end up being very anti-black.
Like, it's not that I didn't want to connect with black people, but I didn't know any other blurbs that like Minecraft. And a blurb put me closer to whiteness, not because I wanted to hang out with white people, but I just wanted to hang out with that like Minecraft. Do you get what I'm saying? I just want to say it is incredibly dangerous to be in close proximity to whiteness no matter what. And the reason why I say that is because I think hanging around with people that like Minecraft and everything definitely ingrained some self-hating attributes to me. It's not because of Minecraft, but it's the proximity to whiteness.
Within the nerd culture, there is not a lot of black representation. Just think about it. You're constantly consuming this media of people that don't look like you while receiving this hate from the people that look like you. That is going to turn into internalized racism. And I say this all the time, but everything is a alt-right pipeline, and the nerd culture is no different.
Yo, what happened to the nerd community, bro? When did we become Republicans, bro? When did we become conservative? What happened? What happened? We don't like girl power now because it's the feminist agenda? You didn't like Kim Possible?
I saw someone say, when did the nerd community just become another avenue or pipeline for right-wing grifting? And the answer is simple. The same way that the gym community became just another avenue for right-wing grifting and right-wing content. The same way like dating advice stuff has just become another avenue for right-wing grifting. What does the gym community, the dating advice community, and the nerd community all have in common? It's full of lonely people. A lot of people.
100%. 100%. When you're lonely and you feel like you're part of a community that gets ostracized, you will gravitate towards very extreme views. That's how the whole right-wing red pill men's community grew so popular, because you have a shit ton of men around the world who feel like they have nobody. So then they click on YouTube and they see, what's the guy's name? The guy that got real famous during COVID, the men's activist guy, whatever his name is. They see him, and then they see him speaking these words that seem powerful about men empowerment and stuff, and they gravitate towards them. That's the same way it was being a nerd and all this. When you have people who say, you know, this, and that, like, you don't need to be lonely. You need to do, you know, as a man, da. So then you start thinking, oh, damn, that maybe applies to me. Even though you're a nerd and you're into all of this, then you start gravitating towards what they're talking about. It's just so simple how this works.
People in the nerd community get into nerd shit because they're lonely. A lot of people start working out because they're heartbroken and they're lonely. A lot of people get into dating advice content because they're lonely. Lonely people are very easy to manipulate. If you find a lonely person and you tell them you're the victim, everybody else except you is the problem, now go buy my course, that's basically an infinite money glitch. That's why it's just lonely people who crave acceptance and a sense of community are taken advantage of just in the way that cults do.
If you can't quit the P word, I want to let you know this.
I'm gonna keep it G about that.
Tells us
that clip was pissing me off because he kept cutting it. He could have said all that shit straight through in one line and been done with it.
that successful
That
men
shit
are
was
often the
pissing me
ones
off, dog.
Like, it's really not that complicated.
Now, the anti-blackness goes up another notch because a lot of black males in the nerd space feel like black women just hate them.
I'm curious to know if this is actually a thing. Black women will ignore men that look like this because he's weird, lame, nerdy, until he achieves success, then see him with a woman like this, and then all
right, so to touch on that, women in general are going to ignore men who look like this. It has nothing to do with you being black and being a nerd. Yes, being a black nerd is a deterrent, but women will ignore men who look like this simply because that is the law of nature. The law of nature dictates women will gravitate towards men who can do three essential things. At the end of the day, we are still animals, right? So the law of nature of attraction between men and women, right, is that men need to do three simple things to attract women. We need to provide, which includes shelter and currency monetary gain. We need to repopulate, which means we need to provide and help women create strong children, great offspring, right? Help them give birth. And we need to protect, which is security. If any man can do any of those three things, you will attract a woman. It does not matter if you're a nerd or not. So being a nerd and then being a black nerd does not matter when it comes to that. That is the only thing that matters. So the reason why being a nerd is not attractive to women is because it seems like you can't provide all three of those things. You get what I'm saying? And then the flip side, you're running to the same woman years later when you're successful, and now that you're successful, it looks more like you can provide those three things. Because if you have money, you can provide shelter, security, and you have the resources to recreate. I have this conversation all the time. It's not about being a nerd, right? It's just that you don't fit the part right now. They can't see it in you right now, and vice versa. Where if women don't provide the things that we need, we look past them. It has nothing to do with you being a black nerd. It's just you're a fucking nerd. In general, you're not right to provide those things right now.
of a sudden label him a sellout. Let's be real. A lot of y'all don't like black women to begin with. Don't matter if you're a D1 athlete or a comic book nerd.
Agreed.
There's a very small majority of black men that do not like black women. Now,
It
why
is
is
very
that? I
small.
couldn't tell you. But at the end of the day, this argument right here could be a little bit valid if we're considering that there are unrealistic expectations for black men, especially young black men in this economy and in this world right now. And there is that stigma of hypermasculinity in the black community. This automatically would make nerds and simps
I can agree with
unattractive
that.
and certainly undesirable.
Black girls called you ugly? So do you want me to believe that the white girls called you handsome?
Right. He's also right too. I know guys who have done this. I have a cousin right now who will not date a black woman. And he ain't even a nerd. But he still fits into this category because in his brain, he is more attractive to white women. He thinks white women are more attracted to him. That's not the case. He's just running into the white girls who are attracted to him. But he can just as easily go get black women, Latino women, Asian women, whatever. He's just not putting himself in the right position to be available to those women. He's putting himself in the position to be available to the white girls. 100% pure facts. This guy's spit. He's spitting.
Once again, I did not experience this. This isn't to say it's not true, but I just feel like it's the way you carry yourself. And also, you just gotta find your, like, swagger, you know? There's a stereotype of, like, the smash bro type of hairstyle. Maybe your lips be crusty. In simple terms, man, you just gotta have game. White nerds go through the same problem while talking to white women. So, like, I hate that correlation as well. And I think what the problem is, a lot of people be holding on to what happened in high school. Whether that be the glory days or those be the bad days. It's been 10 years, bro. We don't care that you scored a touchdown in 10th grade. And yes, you may have been bullied in high school, but let that shit go,
let
brother.
Let it go, bro. I be saying this shit all the time. Let it the fuck go, dog. Let it go. Listen. It is never the appearance. It is never the hobbies that make the man, okay? I go places and I am literally known as the cool guy. That is my persona. I've always been known as the cool guy no matter wherever I go. I don't wear Jabos. I don't wear a lot of Nikes or Adidas. I don't own anything Jordan. I don't wear anything that is stereotypically black male streetwear. I wear Vans. I wear Nike SBs. Okay? But that's my style and the way I dress. I'm very clean with it. So people don't look at me as like I'm dressing like a white boy. They look at me as I'm dressing like Indy. That's his style. He's dressing like himself. But I make it look clean. You could throw on like a little simple gold necklace. I wear all black. I never wear any shirt that got like a super big graphic on it when I go out. I like shirts that got like a little label, little box brand right there. You know, boom, boom, boom on my left side, upper chest. Nice pair of clean Vans to go with it. I always wear some black shoes that are like got gun bottoms. I love black shoes that got gun bottoms and white laces, or gun bottoms with black laces with a little white stripe. Oh my God, so clean, bro. You can't beat that style. It's so clean, it's laid back, and it's affordable. But I'm dressing like myself. I'm not trying to dress like anybody else. So it's like, but when you do that, people try to fit you into like this stereotypical role. Oh, you just, you know, you wearing the white boy style. There's no white boy style, black boy style. There's no race style. It's just you dressing the way you feel comfortable. And people got to get out that mindset of like labeling people. Like if a white boy, he wearing Jordans. Now he trying to dress black. No, he just like Jordans, bro. When Jordan created the clothes, he didn't say you have to be this race to wear it. He created the fucking clothes and said, go buy my clothes to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, people got to get out this mindset, and growing up as a black nerd, which I did, I can honestly say everything they're saying in this video is 100% true. This is how you were labeled in the community growing up a black nerd. 100%.
My entire friend group is majorly made up of nerds. My best friend, this is us when we graduated, he was valedictorian. I was like maybe 4th in the class. Now he is most definitely considered a nerd. I mean, huge WWE fan, very into anime, loves video games, but he's never had a problem talking to black women. And big shout out to my boy. He just graduated from Clemson University, what, 2 years ago now? We just got off the game a few hours ago.
I feel like a big part of the black nerd experience is going back trying to watch your favorite YouTubers and realizing just how much racist commentary was throughout the entire video. Like
100%.
Whitney Jen calling Michael Jackson a monkey fly over my head. Huh? Or that one try not to laugh challenge where they just straight up said the N-word. Huh? And I really got a bone to pick with Pat Jen because I used to go crazy for some Pat. Like, you can ask around. We used to go crazy for some Pat Jen. Even now with past sobriety, it was a black woman's video that I saw use this hashtag. Yet, okay. And not even just them. Like, other gaming channels and YouTubers too, especially in gaming. And I can already hear the whole, oh, it was a different time argument. I can get that. It's really the fact that black kids really never had a safe space. And I feel like that's why it's so easy for them to be indoctrinated into like the red pill pipeline, because it was just small stuff in every single video that we could even like explore within like the nerd genre.
For example, like me growing up, the biggest gaming YouTuber in the world was PewDiePie. And, you know, I watched his videos, but like it was something off. I couldn't really connect with him. And this was before he had the whole N-word incident. But it was extremely rare for me to find another black gaming content creator. And this is why I give so much praise to creators like Berleezy, RDC World, Korea's Kenshin. Because, bro, representation matters. And it's like growing up in these nerd spaces, we rarely get it. And that is why I love that with the visibility that TikTok brings in 2025, I've been finding some amazing like comic book creators that are making.
That's the thing. That's the thing, bro. That's the thing. A lot of these guys I watched growing up don't fuck with black people. They don't fuck with other black guys. Same age as them, into the same shit. But they grew up with a stigmatism that black people are this one way, even though we're both nerds. They don't fuck with me. When I was growing up, there was no black gamers. It wasn't until later in life where I started seeing this small bubble expand, and there became a vast amount of black creators that I could watch, especially for gaming, comic book, anime, people like that. You know, started following people online that cosplay. When I first got into gaming heavy, because I gamed a long time before I started doing it on Twitch and everything. But when I first got into gaming, one of the first people I watched to this very day was King Richard. King Richard, to me, will always be my golden era of gaming streamer, because he was so good and is still so good to this day. Like, I was just watching him play Arc Raiders, and he's already fucking maxed out his account way before many other people have. He's just so fucking naturally good at video games, and it has nothing to do with his race. But he's so good. And he was one of the first people I watched, and to this day, man, I always said, if it's anybody I can play any video game with, it's going to be King Richard, because he inspired me. Like, seeing somebody that looked like me and saying, oh, I can do it. And that's why I do it right now to this day, because I may not have any viewers in my chat. I may not have, you know, there's times where I don't have a lot of viewers. But I say, well, if one kid comes across me and say, this guy looks like me, and he got a cool setup. He killing people in the game. He, you know, he laid back chilling. He got a nice stream setup. I can do this too if I can inspire them. You know, because sometimes my nephew will come into my streams, and I know that like he could be watching at any time, so never stop. And that was my thing with King Richard. So it's always good to have that representation, because it really does matter.
Pro-black comics for black people, bruh.
This right here is my comic book known as the Black Fist, and this is one of the most popular series in the Battle Chi universe. Let's talk about it. Black Fist takes place in the 1960s. It's about a superpowered alien that piques the interest of a KKK Grand Wizard that fears he is a danger to the world and to his community.
I made a comic book. This is it. It's called Astro's Falter. Astro's is a supernatural, somewhat horror-themed comic series with a comedic and cozy twist. The story takes place in this timeline and in this universe. It's a story about a girl who spends her entire life training against the invisible demons that roam our world, all before the magical seal keeping her invulnerable to demons begins to disappear.
With AI, you can create any character.
Damn, that do sound interesting though.
This used to require.
I wouldn't mind searching that up.
Now I
and
ended
reading
up
that.
making a post on my Instagram. Make sure y'all go follow this, by the way. And I was curious
Michael,
on
what's
what was
good,
my
bro?
black nerds experience.
Being a black nerd with some crazy plot progression. If you liked any type of anime, niggas were gonna fry your shit alive. And the crazy thing about it
100%.
is the same people that would be trying to clown you would be the same people trying to be in group projects with you, and the same people
100%.
trying to copy answers. But I'm not gonna lie, going to college was probably the best decision I ever made.
100%.
I found my community here. There's a bunch of black nerds
100%.
here, and we've shared things with each other, and you know, I feel welcomed. I don't.
Like I said, my experience was just a little different, because I got to grow up around people who, we were all from the hood, but we all liked nerdy shit. But being that we were all from the hood, we all grew up in the same area, and we just all knew everybody from the hood. So like, even though we was all like nerds to a certain point, we was all still from the hood. So everybody still fuck with us. So I just got to be like right in that sweet spot in the middle. And I don't know, my experiences were maybe a little bit different than what they said in this video, because I guess it also depends on location. Because there's some locations that are different. But you know, where I was in the hood, it was just all black people. The high school I went to was mixed. Middle school was kind of mixed, but it's just like, I don't know, man. Like in the hood, like, yeah, they crack jokes about us being nerds and shit, but they didn't bother us. They didn't bother us. Like, we were just the nerdy kids. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we were black nerdy kids. It was just a cultural thing that we were black and we were nerds. So they poked fun at us. But at the same time, like, if you know what I'm saying, like, the dope boys on my block, they not going to let nobody pull up and fuck with me, because I'm still little dude that grew up 3 houses down. You know, they know me. They knew my family. So it's like I said, my experiences were just shaped a little bit different.
Don't feel judged or anything like that, man. And you know, people are a lot more accepting here. But to be honest with you, man, I've absolutely loved the journey. Like this upcoming spring 2026, I'm graduating with my bachelor's of science in psychology, bro, and we're going to med school after that. So to all my black nerds out there, don't be afraid to be you, bro.
We really need to talk about
100%
the hatred for black women in the black nerd community. Because a lot of black nerds, they like hang with white nerds, of course, and they want to be accepted by them. So then they just start shitting.
I gotta disagree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't think black nerds are going out trying to hang with white nerds to be accepted. I think it's just that you're a nerd, I'm a nerd. Let's be nerd friends. We're into the same shit. You like anime, I like anime. Let's be friends. Now, there are some people who are like, hey, I'm a black nerd, you're a white nerd, we should hang together. But I don't think that's like a 99% of the time thing. I think that's like a 5% of the time thing. I think most people are just basically saying, you're a nerd, I'm a nerd. Let's be fucking nerds together. I think people put a lot more emphasis on race than they should when it comes to certain things, right? But then, like, there's a lot of stereotypes that are true. Like, even to this day, if I was to go on Twitch right now and I browse through because I play a lot of Apex, if I browse through the Apex section and look for streamers, I won't find as many Apex streamers as I will 2K streamers and Madden streamers. Like, if I go to the Madden section and just browse the live streams, I'm gonna see hella black people. If I go to the 2K section, I'm gonna see hella black people. If I go to the GTA section, I'm gonna see hella black people, because we naturally gravitate towards those titles. But on the flip side, I'll see hella everybody streaming those titles. So I guess it's really like what you accept believing in, right? Because if you only believe that like people only usually go this way and do this one thing, you'll subconsciously look for those things. Like if I go to a person who has no knowledge of video games and I say, hey, all black people play Madden, the next time he gets on Twitch and he goes to the Madden category, he's subconsciously gonna like notice all the black people playing Madden. So in his brain, it gives him confirmation that a lot of black people play Madden, but he won't pay attention to all the other people playing Madden, right? So it's just kind of like one of those things where to me, it's like what you feed into, I guess.
Black women and be like, yeah, they're ghetto, and just start talking shit about them, right? And then also talk bad about women in general. A lot of nerds, they can't get girls, so I talk shit about them. And also, along with the red pill community, because a lot of the nerds, they want to get their anime physique, so they start watching those workout videos, and then those workout videos turn into how to get girls videos, and also turns into hating women videos.
My experience of being a black nerd is a bit different from other people, not only because of the era that I grew up in, but also because of the environment. With me being a 2000s kid, I was never really feeling ostracized for being a nerd because nerdy shit was everywhere. Now I'm an inner city kid. I grew up in lower income neighborhoods, and there were a lot of black folks within those neighborhoods. So a lot of us bonded over these things that would be looked at as nerdy. There's a reason that schools would ban Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's a reason schools would ban all the Bakugan toys and Beyblades. And I'm sure every kid that grew up in the 2000s had that feeling of watching a cartoon on Saturday morning and holding in that excitement when Monday came. Everyone couldn't wait to gather around the...
He said it. 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 100% right, bro. It was just everybody was doing it because it was cool. It wasn't a black or white thing. It was just, again, everything in this video I agree with. I think it's true depending on your personal experiences. And I had some of those same personal experiences, and I can't recognize that a lot of that shit is true. But then also I got to see both sides. I got to see that when we were at the lunch table and we were playing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, people came around, but they didn't come around because I was black. Because in that group, it was mixed. People came around because they low-key was fucking with Yu-Gi-Oh too. And they probably fuck with Yu-Gi-Oh in their free time, but they too embarrassed to say something in front of people. And then they see us playing with Yu-Gi-Oh. So they're like, fuck. Now I know people who play with Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not scared to say nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? And one of the best feelings, bro. One of the best feelings, dog, that we had as 2000 kids was watching Goku turn Super Saiyan for the first time. Bruh, I remember that day. I remember walking home from school that day, me and my sister. We got home, my mom was at work. Fucking 5:30. Dragon Ball Z used to come on Cartoon Network at 5:30, dog. We waited a whole month full of cliffhangers for that episode. And when we went back to school the next day, bro, I remember the apartment we lived in and everything, dog. I remember how the apartment smelled. That's how epic that shit was. I remember, dog. I remember that shit so much, bro. But back then, it was just like everybody at school was talking about that shit. Even the people who you ain't think watch Dragon Ball. The next day, when he turned Super Saiyan fighting Frieza, the whole school, they had to separate people because they wouldn't shut the fuck up about it.
Lunch table and talk about the latest episode of Dragon Ball or Sonic X or whatever was on Saturday morning at that time. But what I'm trying to get at is there was never really a point in time where being a nerd worked against me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit of a social butterfly. I would hang with the theater kids, I would hang with the anime nerds, the music heads that would rap at the lunch table.
That's how I was.
Around and talking to
That's how I was.
I can't really think of a point in time where liking anime or liking comic books or liking video games, whatever, I can't think of a time where that wasn't cool, especially when the second anime boom happened in the 2010s. If anything, that point in time worked in my favor because a lot of black folks who weren't into anime or anything at that time, they knew someone who was. So they would approach me and ask me, hey, what's up with Naruto? What's Attack on Titan about? I heard Dragon Ball is coming back. What's Dragon Ball Super about? If there was someone who wasn't caught up with the latest geekdom fandom news, they came to me because they knew someone who was. And as far as being a black nerd specifically goes, I don't think there was ever a time where if someone did shame me for being a nerd, it didn't make me want to question whether or not I wanted to be around other black people. I never thought that black people didn't like anything I was into. That's just ridiculous.
He just laid it out perfectly. He just fucking laid it out perfectly. That's how I grew up. The few times that people did say something about me being black and being into alternative stuff, anime, cosplay, whatever, it never made me feel like I'm like, you know, I don't want to do this no more. I'm supposed to be. It never made me feel like that. If anything, I was just like, yeah, you being stupid. Like, I'm going to keep doing what I do because I like this. That's just how I felt.
Even if you don't know black people who are nerds, you know at least one black person who watched Dragon Ball Z. They may not know jack shit about Power Rangers, but I bet you they know what happened with Goku versus Frieza.
All my black nerds, come to the podium. I want y'all to give y'all experience in the comment section. Did you have a similar experience to me? Did you have a similar experience to anyone in this video? I am curious. Also, we hit 90,000.
All right, well, there's the video. I gave my thoughts on it. Like I said, give my thoughts growing up from a personal perspective. So yeah, The Truth About Black Nerds by Antonio Speaks. I'm just going to link the video down below. And yeah, so I'll have this video up on YouTube soon. So just check me out, like, comment, subscribe, all that. You know, let's get to some gaming.